I'm sure you felt the difference today. I sure did. Take a look at some of the afternoon highs we had with 93 in Sacramento coming off of 103 yesterday. 93 in Stockton, 96 in Modesto. I got the lower 90s in the foothills, 80 in South Lake Tahoe, and 82 degrees in Truckee. So today, temperatures started to back off a bit, and outside right now, what does it feel like? Well, we're still pretty close to our afternoon highs. Lower to mid 90s in Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto, and Marysville as we look out toward the Gilmore backyard with the mid 70s coming in for Tahoe. Speaking of Tahoe, more scattered thunderstorms were in the forecast today. We're going to be zooming in specifically to the Tamarack burned scar area. It's that red carve out that you see there. That is where we are seeing some showers as well as some thunderstorms. Hopefully they got a good dousing, and that's helping firefighters. However, whenever you do have lightning strikes and we are this dry, sometimes you can actually have new fire starts. We're also looking at some showers and thunderstorms up near the Susanville area, also near Mount Shasta. This is the Dixie fire burn scar area, and this is the Beckworth complex. So those locations have been seeing some spotty showers, but not nearly as much of the heavy rainfall that came around in parts of South Lake Tahoe. Coming up, we'll take a look at the rest of the weekend and also take a look at next week.
All right. Thanks, Tracy. When we come back, the federal moratorium for evictions expires today. We explain why California is not impacted. And the U.S. wins gold at the Olympics, the categories where our athletes took home the grand prize. Welcome back. The Tokyo Olympics had Americans with another big day in the pool. Well, the men's basketball team finds its strike against the Czech Republic. And Simone Biles had a decision, another one to make regarding two gymnastic events that she was qualified to compete in on Sunday. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan with the details.
Swimmer Caleb Dressel sets a world record in the men's 100-meter butterfly, earning him his third gold medal in Tokyo.
Mentally, it actually got a little easier as each race went on, just to kind of get in my groove.
Katie Ledecky won gold in the 800-meter freestyle, wrapping up her 2020 Olympics with 4 medals, 2 gold and 2 silver. The 24-year-old now has a total of 10 Olympic medals. On the basketball court, Kevin Durant, with 23 points, propelled the men's team to a 119-84 win over the Czech Republic, clinching a spot in the 8-man knockout round. And it's a sweep in the 100-meter dash. Jamaica takes the gold, the silver, and the bronze, marking the third time the country has accomplished that feat. The women did it in 2008, the men in 2012. In women's gymnastics, Simone Biles pulls out of 2 more events, the uneven bars and her strongest and most anticipated event, the vault. Michaela Skinner will take her place in the vault finals on Sunday. Still no final decision from Biles on whether she'll compete in the floor exercise or balance beam next Tuesday. All this as COVID cases continue to rise in Tokyo with more than 4,000 new positive cases, a 217% increase in just a week. Among those cases is U.S. pole vaulter Sam Kendricks, who tested positive earlier this week and is now out of competition.
The isolation is the word that they use, and it is certainly such. Not access to sunshine or fresh air, no chances to walk. It almost seems like a trial rather than treatment.
And American Connor Fields, who crashed during the BMX racing semifinals, sustained a brain hemorrhage. He spent a night in the ICU. Doctors report no additional bleeding and no other injuries were found.
When we come back, one county issues an emergency proclamation to conserve water. We will tell you which one. And welcome back. An update on the federal eviction moratorium tonight. Renters nationwide who are falling behind on their rent are facing eviction because the moratorium expires today. It was put in place last September by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. This was only way to keep millions of tenants in their homes after many lost their jobs during the pandemic. Housing advocates fear the end of the moratorium could result in millions being evicted within the next few weeks. The Biden administration announced Thursday it would let the nationwide ban expire. So here's what you need to know. For renters with new eviction cases, a judge will ask if they are aware of rental assistance, which is still available. If the landlord and tenant agree, the eviction case is delayed. Landlords with previous cases with no judgment will have to file a motion to amend the complaint. Landlords with existing judgments against renters protected under this moratorium will need to file a motion and file a new application. So you may be wondering if this federal eviction moratorium expires here in California. Well, the good news for struggling renters, it is not. That is because Governor Newsom signed a law on June 28th extending the state's eviction moratorium through September 30th. This is the third time the state has extended it, but the governor says it is not likely there will be another extension after this one. Placer County is putting a hold on new short-term rentals tonight. The Placer County Board of Supervisors voted in favor of the moratorium on Tuesday. It would impact the kind of rentals popular on sites like Airbnb and Vrbo. Supervisors argue the pandemic has put a further strain on the housing crisis in the Tahoe region and that second home ownership for rentals has been on the rise, resulting in little available housing for the middle class.
Prioritizing all of our workforce being able to live and work in our community, from affordable house, those at the lowest income, all the way up to the upper middle class who are being driven out of our market.
And the supervisor says the lack of housing has now become an emergency and must be addressed. Well, let's talk about the growing drought concerns now. Yolo County has issued an emergency proclamation asking its residents to immediately start conserving water. The county is urging all residents and businesses to conserve water as exceptional drought conditions worsen in rural areas. The chair of the Yolo County Supervisors released this statement, quote, "The severity of the drought in Yolo County highlights the need to take simple actions to conserve water to ensure sustainable water supplies." Tracy, we might see other counties follow suit here in the coming months if we don't get any good news here soon.
Well, you know what? I think that's exactly where it's going, Kurt, because our water season, as many of you know, doesn't really get here until late October into November. Now, we were rewarded over the course of the weekend because we had some thunderstorms, and those thunderstorms were dumping quite a bit of rainfall, all thanks to monsoonal moisture in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, enough that we actually squeezed out some rainfall. So much rainfall, we saw flash flooding. We can't win for losing, right? So the flash flood watch is in effect until 11 o'clock tonight for the areas that you see shaded in that bright color of green. Again, that monsoonal moisture streaming up. It will also be a part of our forecast tomorrow, and more isolated thunderstorms are in the forecast for tomorrow as well. And of course, you can probably guess the areas we're most concerned about. That's going to be, again, the Sierra. So many people are outside. It's warm. You want to cool off. Let's talk about thunderstorm safety. And if you're going to be swimming, bear in mind water conducts electricity, and lightning can regularly, on many occasions, strike water, and a nearby strike could actually kill you. So if you do hear thunder, you should get out of the water, and if you're outside, you could be struck by lightning, even if the parent storm is 10 to 15 miles away. So it is something that we have to be very cognizant of, and especially with our little ones during the summertime. So let's get to our weather headlines. Thunderstorm chances still in the forecast. That flash flood watch is in effect until 11 o'clock tonight. More thunderstorms again possible Sunday, and then warm to near average temperatures are taking over the forecast. That's some good news. 92 in Sacramento, 92 in Stockton, 100 down in Modesto, 97 in Marysville, and 99 in Oroville. So the northern and the southern ends of the valley are hot. But right here in that sweet spot, which is where we are, it feels pretty good. 90 in Placerville, 92 in Jackson, and the mid-70s coming in for South Lake Tahoe. What's up with the cool down? It's my girl Delta. Nice Delta breeze coming into play, and that's cooling us down. That's going to be a big part of our forecast. Southwest winds around 11 in Sacramento, 26 in Fairfield. That is a nice influence coming in from the ocean, and again, it drives down our afternoon highs, and it's a lot more pleasant outside. Speaking of outside, wow. That's majestic, isn't it? That's sent in by Gordon. If you have a nice photo you'd like to share, you can always upload it to the ABC 10 app. So let's get to the afternoon highs tomorrow in the foothills. 95 in Auburn, 95 in Jackson. I got 93 in Placerville, 89 in Pollock Pines. And take a look at the morning lows. We got a whole house fan. I'm always trying to make sure I can turn it on because I'm trying to cool the house off before it gets too hot. And tomorrow morning it'll be around 70, so go for it. 77 for afternoon highs in Tahoe for tomorrow. Still got an opportunity for some isolated thunderstorms. Temperatures will be warming up next week. 63 in San Francisco, 74 in Vallejo. I got 89 in Antioch, 91 in Fairfield. And then you hit the Valley floor, 96 in Manteca, 96 in Modesto, 98 in Patterson. These are nice temperatures. As many of you know, triple-digit highs were all a part of the valley, and that was in the forecast Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now, again, tomorrow, Sunday, 99 in Woodland, 95 in Sacramento, 98 in Folsom, just to name a few. 10-day forecast. How long does it stay this nice? Well, I think all of that looks pretty good, honestly.
I agree.